Hey, welcome back to Five Lakes Garage. And today we're actually going to look at something that has been annoying me about my 2019 Toyota Tacoma. Now, I've been driving this thing now for a few years, and there's definitely been a few issues that I found. You probably saw some of the other videos that I'm trying to fix some of those issues. Well, today it started about 6 months ago, and it's been driving me nuts. There's some sort of rattle on the passenger side. So I just took it out for a quick test drive. Hopefully I got it on video. We'll find out once I start editing it. But we're actually going to be able to tackle that today because it is driving me bonkers. So let's dive right in and see what we got. Alright, so now we're on a bumpy road. I'm thinking it's somewhere on that door. So let's see if we can find some bumps and see if you can hear it. There you go. You hear that? That is so annoying. Now it sounds like there's something actually inside the door. So what I'm gonna have to do is go back to the shop, open that door up, try not to destroy anything in the process. Because I mean, this thing's only 3 years old. Should not be having these issues. But things happen. So let's go figure it out and fix it. Alright, so you probably heard on that test drive that there's something in this door that is rattling. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I've never actually taken one of these door panels off before, but we're gonna learn it together. Pretty sure there's probably some screws down in here. Actually, I can feel some. It's usually one up in here somewhere. Either that or they're just kind of pressed in. I do have some plastic little tools to be able to get some of this stuff off. So, tell you what. Sit tight, relax, and let me figure it out, and then I'll show you what I came up with. Give me a couple seconds. Alright, so I got the panel off. Maybe I should have probably looked it up first to see what the heck I was getting into, but it wasn't that big of a deal. They do have all of the standard little clips that most vehicles have on their doors. Now, what I'd use to actually get that off, and something, they do have plastic ones, but I went ahead and used my little tool here. It didn't scratch up hardly anything, which is great. But you do have to like dig in there really hard. Now the only couple things that you might want to consider when you're actually taking your door panel off, and that I figured out, is that there is a screw that goes right here. Now that screw goes into a little plastic piece. I ended up just pulling it out, but in order to get to that, so right here where your handle goes, where you kind of open it up, there's a little tiny plastic cover that's in there, and what you do is you have to pop that out in order to get to the screw that's right behind it. If you get that off, then it actually comes off. I didn't do that. I kind of went around the long way, but I know that now. And now you know that, and that's the reason why we're doing this stuff. And yes, I probably should have looked it up and avoided most of that. Okay, so now we're inside the door. You do have the plastic that goes around. You don't want to destroy that too much as possible, because that keeps the water from actually getting inside your door and rotting it out. So, well, the water is still going there. It'll drain out, but it's not going to rot out your door cart. It is plastic, so it should be fine, but then you won't get any water inside. So let's look at this thing to see if we can find what the heck is rattling. Yeah, something else too that I'm sitting here looking at. Alright, so this is the factory speaker, and I did not get the upgraded speaker that I think is JBL or whatever. But looking at this very cheap, flimsy speaker, I'm thinking that's going to be upgraded. Maybe that'll be another video. How to change your speakers, because it doesn't really sound great to begin with. Alright. Not tear this. Actually, all of the sticky looks like it came loose. There's a, hold on. All right, so here's inside of the door. And one of the things I want to do later on is put sound deadening all around this thing. And one of the things I'm going to do is put it in these doors. There's nothing there. It's one reason why it's probably pretty loud. But what I'm seeing so far, and I'm probably wrong, I don't know yet, but I'm still going to investigate. But the rails for the window are nice and sturdy. It's just sitting on the sheet metal, which kind of flexes a little bit, which is fine. But you have a structural support here and you got a structural bar here. And, you know, knocking on it, it almost sounds like it's the outside sheeting banging against the bar, the way it looks like. Could be wrong. I'm going to go ahead and investigate a little bit more. But it's only held on by a little sticky over here that actually broke free. There's some sticky stuff underneath here that most of it's still connected, but as you can see, that one's not connected anymore. So what I'm going to do is try to find maybe some silicone or something like that, and I'll put a little bit dabs in here, just to see if that will actually help with the noise. Later on, we're going to come in and actually put sound deadening in, so that maybe we'll quieten it down the cabin a little bit as well. So anyway, we'll put that up there and see if that makes a difference. Let's go. All right, so I finally found some silicone. Now this is just some clear stuff that it's mostly for like doors and windows, but this should be great for what I'm doing right now. So what I'm gonna do is actually fill in some of these crevices to try to make a bond between the two pieces of metal, and also a little bit down here on the safety bar to see maybe it'll quieten it down a little bit. But one thing for sure, I need to get some new tools because this thing sucks. Now just keep in mind, you don't need to put silicone all the way down. So just put it in certain areas. Like I said, I don't need it everywhere. All the key areas. See if I can get up inside there. All right, that piece of crap is gonna go in the trash, but hey, take a look at what we did. See what you think. Now, as you can see, we just put some globs down in here. Now that should, once it dries, be able to keep a buffer between this pole and the actual outer shell, the outer skin. Also put some up here. Just kind of filled, oh, that's still wet. Kind of filled in these two holes to be able to hopefully seal that up a little bit so that it will not vibrate as bad. And then later on, we're gonna coat all this up with some sound deadening, but it won't be tonight. All right, so what we're gonna do now is actually put the door back together, which is gonna be a reverse from what we did. They're all clips. Just make sure all your clips are in the right spot. There's one screw here that now, since I have it off, I figured out it was a panel there. Put the screw in there, put the screw in behind your handle, and put your upper piece up here. You should be good to go. All right, let's put the thing back together. And we'll try to seal it all the way around with the goop stuff. Now once it warms up, the goop, well the little putty stuff behind the actual plastic should actually warm up and actually make a seal. But for now, I'm just gonna push it on because I'm gonna be back in here later to fix it up the rest of the way. All right, let's see what we got here. Now one thing you definitely want to do is make sure you don't have any more silicone on your hands, or else you're gonna get all of your door card, and that would suck. All right, don't forget your little card here. Now your screw's in. Now this should just pop right into place. Bam. All right, one other thing that's actually pretty decent with Toyota, we'll give them credit for this, was that they actually had these little push button looking things. Let's see if I can see if it'll focus. Anyway, so this is the socket, this is the actual pin, and what you do to take this off is that it has two ways. When it's in place, it's going to look like that, but if you take your tool and push it in, there you go, it clicks, and then you're able to take this out. It's actually pretty sweet. And in order to put it in, just reverse the order, stick it in, Push the button. Boom. Done. I give Toyota credit for that one. Now the rest of them is just trying to find the holes and beat it in. Alright, make sure all that's in. Now, next thing. All your electrics. Now you do have your windows and your door locks. Now they're two completely separate plugs. You can't get it wrong. Alright, so hopefully that actually solves our problem. It is getting kind of annoying because it kept getting louder and louder. I think once we put the sound deadening in there, that's going to help dramatically. But I think also think that the silicone will actually help as a temporary until I can get that sound deadening in. Maybe I'll do it in January, but we will see. Most of the time when you want to put that in there is when it's actually relatively warm. And as you can see, I don't have any insulation in this shop. Maybe I can do it in the other shop. Well, the other garage is the one that's attached to the house, which is a little bit warmer than in here. So we're getting ready to go for a quick test drive on this guy to make sure that it is not making that noise anymore. If nothing else, if it does still make the noise, maybe it will be a little bit quieter. Hopefully something we can live with. But hey, I'll take you along so we can figure it out. Next thing on my list here would actually be some rock sliders. I do have some tubing against the wall that I've had for quite a long darn time because I was trying to find some time to actually get it on this guy. So we're going to cover that. And if FedEx will ever find my leaf spring, maybe we'll put a lift on it. Anyway, come on out with me and we'll go for a test drive. All right, we're out on our test drive. We put the silicone in there. It hasn't quite dried yet, but it should be okay. Hopefully it will be a little bit better, but we're gonna find out. So we're gonna find some bumps to go over, maybe some railroad tracks, and see how it goes. But figure while I'm out, I'm gonna go get a white elephant gift. All right, well, we've gone about 15-20 miles. I have not heard it yet, so I'm hoping that it's fixed. If it's not, then we'll readdress it. But you know, for now, we're just gonna leave it like it is. If it does rattle again, I'm gonna let you know. But of course, you know, the silicone is not dry yet. Once it is cured, it should probably hold a little bit better. But I went over some pretty bumpy stuff. Oh, these people drive me crazy. I just want to get down this road and everybody's on a Sunday drive. Anyway, until next time, take it easy, have fun. If you have a problem with something, fix it. Hopefully I fixed my door. Shouldn't have had to, but I had to. One of those things, you know how it goes. Anyway, until next time, take it easy, have fun, and now we'll catch you guys later.